Hello everyone, happy 5-Minute Friday with Dr. Holly, your Chiropractic coach plus mentor. Big question today. This is a question we get a lot at Profit First. In fact, author Mike Michalowicz did a myth busting video on this recently, and can I just use a spreadsheet instead of implementing the 5 bank account system? So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, Mike talks a lot about you don't need to change your behavior, you need to channel your behavior. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you have a mobile banking app on your phone for your business bank account? Okay? Yes or no? Quick answer. How often do you check it? Do you check it every day? Do you check it multiple times a day? Do you check it once a week? Do you look at it once a month? Do you never look at it? I don't know who would never look at it. But the whole thing about channeling your behavior is the fact that if you use that because it's quick and it's easy, and guess what? It's real numbers. It's your actual cash. That is what you're going to make decisions off of, right? That's what you're going to make spending decisions off of. It's like, how much actual cash is in my bank account? Because your QuickBooks may or may not be updated, may or may not be on your phone, maybe only at your office computer. Maybe your bookkeeper has it and then they just send you reports and they're long and it's just a lot to go through and you don't like to do that more than once a quarter, right? Can I just do this in a spreadsheet? Yeah, and I'll just set it all up in a spreadsheet even though I just have one bank account. I'll spread it all up in a spreadsheet and I'll be super meticulous about it, and that's what I'll check to make spending decisions. That's not how it works, okay? You have to give things names and then you get to keep them, right? So we talk about pets. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you real life. Look at what this looks like, okay? So this is a quick screenshot of my mobile banking app, okay? No judgment here. This was right after distribution. This was also right after tax season. So you see that tax account, not a whole lot of savings there in that. But what you'll see is that my deposits are set at 0 because I let the money accumulate, and then on a regular schedule, so either once a week at the end of the week, twice a month on payroll, or every other Friday when you do payroll, or once a month, you go in and you take all the money that's accrued in this deposits and you zero out this account because you use those percentages to fund the other accounts, okay? So I funded these other accounts, and then guess what? Operating expenses, then I went in and I paid my bills with that money, okay? So not a lot of money sits here. Honestly, before I implemented Profit First, this is where all of our money sat. It was like, you'd log in, you'd see $20,000, $30,000 in there, for a full-time practice. It's like, yeah, that's how much money we have. Well, guess what? Some of that money's for the government. Some of that money we need to pay ourselves and pay our family out of, Some of that's for rent. Some of that's for our next payroll that's going to come out. You can't make decisions based off of that number if it's supposed to be allocated for somebody else, right? So that's why we just open up these other accounts and we give them names and we give them percentages. Now, in the Advanced Profit First System method, you will actually have a separate tax account and a separate profit account that are almost acting like emergency funds, and we set those aside so you don't see these on this main login, okay? What's the other thing we don't see in this main login? I don't see any math going on here, right? I don't see those numbers added up together, because if I added all those up, I'm sure I could quickly do it in my head, we're probably talking close to $4,000 there. If I just logged in and saw that number, I'm going to want to make decisions off of that, okay? I'm not going to be as scrupulous with something, even if it's, say I want to subscribe to, a new service. I love Chiro up in my practice, okay? $99 a month. If I log in and see 4,000, I think 99, not, pocket change, whatever. But if I log in and see, well, I got $600 left after I paid all my bills for my practice, do I really want to take 900 out of 600? That's a much different conversation, right? So this is what we do. We have to channel your behavior. We don't necessarily have to change it. Now, I'm going to pop over to my spreadsheet because, hey, you guys already know I love spreadsheets, okay? So I do keep a spreadsheet to figure out what my distributions are going to be and to keep my bill pay on here. So you'll see here, this one is set up for if we have our bill pay set on twice a month. So you'll see a list of things here. These are all the things that happen in the latter half of the month. Then I have another tab that's for everything that happens at the beginning of the month. Paying rent, paying your other dose of payroll, maybe paying credit card, whatever it is that comes out at the beginning of the month versus things that come out at the end of the month. And this is just a template. These aren't my real numbers. But when I work with clients, we set this up for their numbers. These right here are the percentages of how we fund those other accounts. And again, I am doing an assessment with clients. We're finding what their rough percentages are right now, starting, not changing any Anything else, okay? We're just going to figure out what percentage you're operating on right now. I'm going to tell you what, that is very eye-opening for clients. I just had a new client onboarding this week. They were very surprised and not so happy about their number, okay? And that's the same thing happened to me 4 years ago. Back in 2017, when I first read the book, I jumped on board. I was like, oh my goodness, I have to know these numbers right now. And they were shocking, okay? I thought we were doing, quote, much better than what the assessment said, okay? Because when you look at those big numbers, or if you're, that's my 5-minute Friday timer. If you're really keyed in on how much money your practice generates in a month or in a year, you're gonna be tied to that number and not necessarily tied to what's your compensation ratio, okay? Check back on the other videos, how to figure out compensation ratio, etc. I just popped in some numbers here just to give you an example. You know, you can run different numbers. Say your practice grosses $30,000 every month. What does that mean for you as an owner? What does that mean for how much you stow away for profit? How much does that mean for your operating expenses and your taxes? I mean, look at that. That's a big number to put away for taxes, but we have to pay for taxes from day and from dollar one. Okay, I've gone over on time. I've pretty much given you a mini dose of everything I have to offer with being a Profit First coach. So reach out to me if you have questions or if you're ready to get an assessment and a strategy session booked, and we can go from there. Have a wonderful weekend.